Welcome to the pre-match show presented by the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Burt's Home Selling Team. Visit brianburts.com or call 915-751-1500.
El Paso, Texas, on the last home match of the regular season tonight. Locomotive FC versus San Diego Loyal. Could playoff soccer be in El Paso's future? We'll find out in the next 90 minutes. Welcome inside the broadcast booth here at Southwest University Park to Keith alongside Colin Deaver. Good to have you back.
Great to be back. It's been a minute.
Yes, it has been. Locomotive FC, what a wild ride it's been for them this season. But right now, in the playoff hunt, inside at 7th spot, and as we close out the regular season, an opportunity to move up perhaps.
Yeah, the way things went this summer, I feel like Paul Rudd in the Hotwoods. Who would have thought? Not me. But it's been that kind of season, as we've described, the ebbs and flows of this year, a 12-match unbeaten streak in the early portion of the summer, then that never-ending streak where they couldn't get a victory, fall completely out of the playoff picture, and now here they are with 3 matches left. Basically everything in front of them. They've clinched or have a playoff spot kind of locked up if things were to stay as they stand right now. They could even host a playoff game if things go their way, but have to win tonight, and you have to win your final 3 matches.
Speaking of ebbs and flows, that was the last match. As we take a look at some of the highlights from this one, we finally saw the attack get back to form, looking almost like that attack during the 12-match unbeaten streak. We looked it up Saturday during the match. It had been since May 5th that Locomotive had scored 3 goals in a match. The guy who had been on the attack the last couple of matches, Petar Petrovic, more of the same versus Charleston, arguably one of the best 1v1 players on this team, maybe the league. Fine space, what a shot, near post, plus the celebration, 1-0 El Paso. But after missing a penalty earlier in the match, redemption for Augustine Williams on a very well-executed set piece. They play it short, swing it around. Williams for the finish. It's all tied up. Second half, a goal by second half sub Emilio Icaza. The dude had been on the pitch for all of 6 minutes. Things looking grim for Locomotive, but subbed into the match, Locomotive's own super sub, Emmanuel Sonupe, from Eric Calvillo. Calvillo with a great interception, the great pass, speed kills, a great look. First time at goal, converts, it's tied. Locomotive looking for more. Chris Garcia, the native El Pasoan, looks for his shot. And who's there to clean it up? Eric Calvillo. Locomotive wins 3-2.
What a game. Brian Clairhout, that is, said during the week that they needed players to step up. They certainly did. The big goal by Sonupe, the biggest of his career here by far in El Paso, and keeps the playoffs alive by securing at least 1 point. And how about Calvillo, Duke? This is a guy who's been called on all year in big moments, and he's been delivering when it matters the most.
Well-deserved Team of the Week honors for Eric Calvillo, and that goal helped El Paso into the 7th spot. Some of the other results went their way Saturday night, making it possible for Locomotive to jump from 9th to 7th, including Loyal's win over Monterey Bay. But there could still be a lot of movement during the last 3 matches of the regular season. Locomotive could pick up as many as 9 points. They could mathematically land the 3 seed and have a home match. But again, other matches would have to fall El Paso's way. 4 teams have already clinched playoff spots, including tonight's opponent, San Diego Loyal, but it really is the Wild West for everyone else.
And Loyal, as we've seen in that playoff picture, already locked up a spot. They've been really solid all season. Their most recent victory actually clinched them a playoff berth in the West. Obviously, seeding can still change for the entire conference. Another sellout for them at home, and what a night it was for San Diego. A 4-1 victory and a hat trick by Ronaldo Damos. San Diego was down early on a goal by Monterey Bay's Maury Donor. Right there as you see it, Monterey Bay trying to lock up a playoff berth themselves, currently sitting in 9th place as we stand today. But then the onslaught began for San Diego. First one of the night by Damos, the header off of a cross. Then just a few minutes later on a corner kick, it's Carlos Guzman with the header from distance for the 2-1 Loyal lead. That was how it would stand at the break. In the second half, it would be Damos to Corona in transition, and he would finish easily from there back to Damos, and he finishes it there. And then in stoppage time, looking for a hat trick. Nobody around him. I would put a body in front of this guy. His name is Ronaldo. He had 2 goals to his name already. Unfortunately for Monterey Bay, nobody did, and he polishes off that hat trick. 4-1 your final score. San Diego clinches the playoffs, and Ronaldo earns Player of the Week.
Playoffs clinched for San Diego, and El Paso looking to do the same. 3 points would definitely get them closer to that goal. We have 90 minutes ahead of us with the playoffs on the line. Locomotive FC versus San Diego Loyal next.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
Welcome to Southwest University Park, downtown El Paso. An absolutely gorgeous evening to play a soccer match. Duke, Keith, Colin Deaver. As we take a look at the starting lineups, Eric Calvillo, deservedly on the USL Championship Team of the Week. One big sub, at least as far as things have been normally for Locomotive. Emerson Upe up at the top for Locomotive FC.
Yeah, Duke, his first start since July 15th. Aron Gomez available off the bench for Locomotive up top, as is Chris Garcia, so we'll see how they may factor into this match. Of course, El Paso playing its second match in 5 days. They'll play on Saturday as well.
For Loyal SC, Ronaldo Damas, Player of the Week, not just Team of the Week, but Player of the Week with his hat trick. And the man you need to keep an eye on out on the right side of that San Diego attack.
Both him and Joe Corona played in Sweden last year under Brian Claerhout, so he knows their talents very well. Does Brian Claerhout? Maybe he has the blueprint for shutting them down.
We are underway from Southwest University Park. San Diego Loyal currently in 3rd, Locomotive in 7th, and a big match for both teams insofar as their playoff aspirations are concerned. San Diego in the spot that would see them host a match at least through the first round, but they would like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I mean, anytime, especially in the last year, unfortunately for San Diego Loyal of their organization, they want to go as far as they can for their fan base. Certainly, I think El Paso Locomotive fans, they would, of course, love to see their team go farther in the playoffs than anybody. But if it's anybody else, maybe it's a San Diego team that can make a run, and certainly being able to host more playoff games would up those chances.
Of course, San Diego will be shutting down its operation after this season as the new Major League Soccer franchise introduced in San Diego. But Loyal, as you do in San Diego, keeping it classy through this 2023 season.
Wow, we're already there.
We are indeed.
Good to be back. A very important announcement.
Dollenmeyer back to Benny Diaz and around to Eric McHugh. Locomotive will play out of the back and be patient. Knutson decent thought on the touch pass up the wing. Loyal has certainly provided its fans a lot over the 4 seasons it's been in existence. And let's take a look at our Casa Fort keys to the game, Colin.
Yeah, and most importantly for El Paso, the dangerous up the middle is San Diego Loyal. They're good, of course, getting the ball at the feet of Ronaldo Damas. 3 goals last Saturday. They're also great on set pieces. Must have a balanced attack, take advantage of opportunities. El Paso, like you just said, Duke, they do like to play out of the back, but they have to take advantage of the maybe minimal opportunities they may get tonight. Then finish strong at home. Only 5 wins out of 16 matches at home. That is unlike what we've seen from El Paso in previous years under Mark Lowry and then John Hutchinson. So not what they wanted to see happen this year, but if you finish strong at home, perhaps it helps you make a push for the playoffs. And as we said, the Open Duke, they can still host a home playoff match if things fall their way.
It's still mathematically within reach. The only thing that isn't mathematically within reach are the top 2 spots.
Right.
Sacramento and San Antonio currently residing there. Helpful result, at least at the start of this match, through 90+ on the road in Hartford, RGV and Hartford Athletic, which has been out of the playoffs forever, tied at 2. 1 point does not help RGV's case to make the playoffs. They could have leapfrogged their way in with a win.
Certainly we will keep tabs on that one for you.
Coque Vegas, the Spaniard, in net for San Diego. Sounds like a heck of a weekend.
Yeah. Coque Vegas.
Up the left wing. Good work here by Moshaban. San Diego whipping it across. Too far and over the head of Evan Conway. Solid work on that wing by Blake Bodley. And it's full time. Full time in Hartford, Connecticut. It's tied at 2. That's the final result, so just a point for Toros and no closer to getting inside or over that playoff line.
Certainly good news for El Paso, obviously, just at the outset of this match as they try to move up the standings, keep others out.
Everybody taking a good look at the score lines and live standings and so forth this evening. This is where Locomotive makes up a game on a lot of the rest of the Western Conference. Locomotive just 31 matches. This will be their 32nd tonight.
Yeah, and it ebbs and flows throughout the season, right? There were points during the regular season where El Paso was maybe 2 and 3 matches ahead of other teams, but they make it their way up throughout the regular season, and now El Paso with the game in hand.
San Diego trying to stay on the front foot. That is an excellent tackle by Liam Rose. Right off of Alejandro Guido. Chula Vista native. That'll be a foul going Locomotive's way as Knudsen is taken down. Interesting story. Petar Knudsen, of course, the Faroe Islands native, hadn't played in basically 2 months, so he's just getting back to the point where he's in game fitness.
Right, and with Lucho Soloniak, out with an injury for the last month or so, I mean, what a time for him to maybe be coming into form for El Paso Locomotive FC. Maybe he can be the spark, late in the season that pushes them into a playoff spot, a surefire playoff spot, maybe a home match. If he can score some goals here tonight for El Paso and moving forward in the final 2 matches after this evening. Of course, they do have Gomez coming off the bench as well.
And I would say for both Emma Sanupe, definitely earned his start tonight, and Aaron Gomez has definitely earned his rest.
The only box-to-box striker in USL Championship. No, for sure. I mean, they've dealt with so many injuries, all season long, kind of across the lineup. For them to get some late-season firepower in the mix, you have to look at Dollemeyer as well on the back line. So, some important reserves playing some big roles here late in the season for El Paso, and they'll need to be strong for El Paso tonight.
Back to Benny Diaz, 9 clean sheets on the season for Benny. Among the league leaders.
5th in saves as well.
That's not necessarily the place you want to be.
No.
As we take a look at Locomotive's bench this evening. On the bench, Javier Garcia, Luis Herrera Chapa, Jose Carrillo, Yuma, Nick Hines, and Aaron Gomez. And yes, I said number 24, the iconic captain, Yuma, who was on the bench for Saturday's match, but has worked his way back after a couple of setbacks this season to be included in Brian Clairhout's 18.
Yeah, lots of injuries. A knee injury earlier in the season, another leg injury now. I mean, been tough for him, but good to see him back in the lineup potentially.
Heck of a cross. Moshaban can't get on it from Evan Conway. And it'll roll over the byline. Corner kick deflected. Locomotive does get a piece.
Yeah, Castician in an interesting place there. Really, if he doesn't clear it, Loyal's going to have a pretty decent shot at goal, so he does the smart thing and clears it. It is a corner kick for Loyal. Again, as we said in the open, they are dangerous on set pieces, though.
Guido sets up to take it for San Diego. He'll take it short. Lifted out for a throw. Good work to stay in front of Moshaban. Tumi Moshaban. Back with it. Guido will whip it across. Dealt with by McHugh. Locomotive clears the danger. Well played up to Liam Rose. Good bit of work by Miles Lyons out of that right wing. In his right back spot, McHugh. It splits the difference. Well done. Ian Dollenmeyer, of course, on loan from LAFC. Certainly not the center backs I think Locomotive fans thought would be all the way through this season. Of course, Yuma. Long ball out of the back, looking for Emma Sanupe, and why not? We pointed out in the pregame speed kills, and he has that to burn.
So much pace to play with, but like you were saying, Duke, I mean, Yuma, the starting center back coming into the season, Bense Pakovic plays such a big role for really the majority of the season before getting transferred back to his native country for a club there. So disappointing, but that's why they go and get Dollenmeyer, right, from LAFC to fill in that spot, and he's done fairly well in his time here. But yeah, certainly it's been a carousel, so to speak, at that center back position.
Injuries, signings, new contracts, and so forth. Here's Guido. San Diego can be comfortable in possession, and looks so here. Joe Corona. Trying to get something working from the right. No dice for Joe Corona. San Diego area native. Should be pointed out, Corona and Damos both playing for Brian Clairhout at GIF Sundsvall in the Alskaban.
Yeah, how about that? That's got to be the what do they call it? The smallest world type thing. I mean,
Allsvenskan. Let me get that right.
You're on the right track.
Yes, I was there. The first syllable was good. The rest of it was not.
No, how about that? I think Brian mentioned it the last time they played San Diego out in California, that he got to know them pretty well. I think one of them had just had a child at that point. So really a small world, like we said, to both end up in the USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.
Lead ball. Trying to get it to Emma Sanupe. That's lopped over. It will be a goal kick. Sanupe last to touch it. Clairhout taking over, I think, in the latter stages of that season after Sundsvall had been promoted to the Allsvenskan and immediately went back down.
Right. A tough situation, right? I think for any coach, anytime you're asked to just be hired as the interim head coach or manager of any team, I mean, it's just sometimes it goes well, but more often than not, it doesn't. And you kind of become the scapegoat, unfortunately, for Brian Clairhout. But I think as we've seen here in El Paso, though they've had some ups and downs with Locomotive FC, he does have them, as it stands right now, sitting where he said they would be, and that's in the playoff picture. So,
which would be a return to playoffs after a year off for Locomotive for the first time.
Right,
qualifying for the postseason in year 4.
Right, after missing it, and in year 5, which is again crazy to say, this is already year 5 of this club.
Right,
but, that's certainly important for them to get back to the playoffs if they can.
Lead ball out of the back, dealt with well by Dollenmeyer. Dollenmeyer at 6'6", handles his business. Great lead ball, but Sanupe can't gather it from Kostishin.
He may have been in there with his pace. He knows it. Kind of looked up to the heavens there, knowing he had a bit of a missed opportunity, unfortunately, for Manny Sanupe.
The Englishman out of the Tottenham Academy. London native. It's the amazing thing about soccer, so many nationalities represented just on this Locomotive team. Good work here by Sanupe to steer clear of the danger and keep possession. Out to Calvillo, scored the match winner and assisted on the match tire to Sanupe. Just a beautiful first-time crack by the Englishman to the far netting.
Well, and the feed from Calvillo, too.
Oh.
I mean, mwah.
On point, chef's kiss. That's what Colin did up here in the booth. You didn't see that, but yes.
I hope it came across.
I think it did. I think it worked. Eric Calvillo watching out with little Enzo, walking out, I should say, with little Enzo tonight, as he did on Saturday, and maybe little Enzo can be the good luck charm as Locomotive earns the corner kick here.
Yeah, I don't think we would call a 3-month-old a bad luck charm. So
correct. That
pretty innocent at that age, but
well said.
Hopefully he can be a good luck charm again.
It'll be Petrovic to take the corner, Locomotive's first of the night. Whipped in. Out it goes.
Redo.
Another corner.
Looks like Petrovic asking Calvillo what he wants.
In front!
We have good microphones.
Hey! Come one, in front! In front! In front! Come in front!
Petrovic been out of shape about, I think, somebody from San Diego. The Swede will whip it across and nicked over by McHugh. Not clear the danger. Here's Petrovic trying to go far post, and it sails wide.
Well, I like what they drew up on that set piece. McHugh has been used as a big body off set pieces on corners all season long. Has a couple of goals to his name, I believe, on that. But how about Petrovic? You know, he is not shy. Neither is Dennis Kostishin at just having a crack at goal. And man, it almost went in for him.
7 on the season for Petrovic, including 1 versus, Charleston. Wrong Carolina. Was going Charlotte. Further south. Dolenmeyer the intercept. Intercepted in turn by Conway. Evan Conway not able to spring Corona. Dealt with well by McHugh.
As we said in our keys to the game, El Paso comfortable playing from the back as they have been all season long. Haven't quite had the opportunities that we've talked about them needing to take advantage of just yet in the 16th minute, but you have to imagine that they will come eventually for El Paso if they just keep their shape the way they have so far.
So we told you Hartford Athletic 2, Rio Grande Valley 2. Just underway here in El Paso. Orange County also in action tonight versus Roots SC. Kicking off at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Another pertinent one. Orange County a little out of Locomotive's reach. Right now in that 3rd spot, but Roots SC a little closer to home. We'll keep an eye on that match.
Obviously.
Things will be finished here before then.
Sure, and Oakland Roots in that spot right behind Locomotive. El Paso entered tonight in 7th place, 44 points. Oakland entering tonight in 8th place with 42 points. Orange County just a couple points ahead, Duke, 48 points in 5th place, like you said. So they're actually tied with Phoenix Rising. If the season ended today, Phoenix would get the 4th spot on goal differential.
Ryan Clairhout, saw him on the touch line. He did mention, I think, in the early part of the season that it was interesting that he's younger than Yuma.
Yeah.
By a few months anyway. And that, I mean, it isn't the first time that's happened for a manager, but especially at this level, that is an interesting situation.
Yeah, and it's all about finding your role within the team. We talk about it for players, but it's almost, we don't talk about it enough with coaches, I don't think, in terms of finding your role and how you interact with players, you know, out there every single day. And you know, certainly, I think that might be a little bit of a point of contention if there's a player that's even if it's just a couple of months, you have to find a way to relate to them in ways that maybe you don't have to relate to younger players who maybe just see you more as an authority figure.
McHugh, that's good by Dolenmeyer. Locomotive will earn the throw, much to Moshe Ban's chagrin. A little 2-man game by Locomotive center backs. And the big man, Noah Dolenmeyer. USL Championship playoffs are here. Catch the action on ESPN Plus beginning October 20th with select matches on Sirius XM FC Channel 157. The season concludes with the USL Championship final. That's November the 12th on ESPN2. Big to have it on the Deuce.
I love that you still call it the Deuce, by the way.
That's true. That's kind of a dated reference. You're right.
No, it's not dated. It's perfect.
They had that lowercase, that little slashy looking logo. Very punky. back in the day.
Edgy.
Keith Olbermann in the leather jacket.
Yep, didn't wear ties.
Nope.
Now we don't wear ties on normal.
That's true. Like
ESPN
nobody wears
Plus.
ties.
Yeah.
Basketball coaches don't wear ties.
I'll wear a tie on Channel 9 tonight, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a promise. But
You got to watch to see.
would my boss, Chris Babcock, who's here tonight on PA, be okay with me if I didn't wear a tie? He would. He says no comment, according to our producer. So I take that to mean I should wear a tie tonight.
Okay. Probably. We understand Chris Babcock is not wearing a tie.
Well, the next time I see Chris wearing a tie will be the first time I see Chris wearing a tie. So. 8 a.m. meeting on Monday. He says.
Okay. We're calling meetings now. Gustafsson looking for Sinupe. That side-footed effort stuck out by San Diego. It'll be a Locomotive throw coming up. Locomotive dangerous here midway through the 20th minute. Both teams have really yet to have a square opportunity.
Yeah, really the best chance was kind of the corner kick a couple minutes ago by Locomotive that Petrovic ended up skying over the goal.
Iris Calvillo sees no way forward. Back to McHugh. McHugh himself, Swedish-American heritage.
I think speaks 3 or 4 different languages, trying to add a 5th with Spanish.
That was amazing. We find it amazing. I imagine in Europe it's de rigueur.
For some
which I
people,
think
yes.
is French for pretty normal.
I took French for 6 years. I have no idea what you just said, so I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
Duke Keith is fairly cultured, folks. I, on the other hand.
That is the first time I've ever been referred to as fairly anything, much less cultured. Here's Calvillo. Nice switch, Navarro with that right foot. Can't find the target. Good work clearing it out by Loyal's Michael Chilaka. Chilaka out of Israel. Played with Maccabi Tel Aviv, who regularly competes in the UEFA Champions League as the champions of the Israeli Premier League. Loyal, it is a shame that Loyal can't find a place. I think that is part of the reason that they are shuttering operations after this season is Petrovic. Nice takeaway. But you have a team, well, Petrovic upset that he thought his shirt was tugged. You have a team in foul whistled on Rose here. And your technical staff is led by Executive Vice President of Soccer Operations, Landon Donovan.
Yep.
I mean,
formerly the head coach too. Yeah, I mean, I've
Correct.
never seen this when they announced that the club wasn't coming back for next year. The owner, in a post to social media, was actually the one in a video that announces to the fans that, you know, the team wasn't coming back next year. And usually, you know, it gets leaked to somebody in the media, somehow it gets out. But no, I mean, really, that was the first time that it had really come out, a really classy way for San Diego Loyal to announce that.
feeling the effects there. Ronaldo Damas getting tangled with McHugh. Both vying hard. McHugh just not wanting Damas to touch the ball. As it goes over the byline, it will be a goal kick for Benny Diaz, but a little uncomfortable for San Diego fans seeing their leading scorer a little slow to get up.
Looks like he's all right now. He's shaking it off, back in his normal position.
Meyer will fill the space himself before electing to go back to McHugh. Liam Rose filling in. Bit of a stalemate through 23 and a half. Eighth notch, serenading, as they always do on a Wednesday evening. Solid crowd for Wednesday.
Fans, of course, showing up for the final home game. Maybe not.
Right? Mathematically, anyway.
But, good to see a good home crowd for the last match here at Southwest University Park for 2023. There's also a sweatshirt giveaway. Very nice free sweatshirts.
Banana Man is here as well.
He got announced on the walk down to his seat with at least 3 beers in hand.
There we go. Is there more action off the pitch or on it? On it right now. Here's the shot. Turned aside. Guido set up well, but McHugh right in the way.
Ricochets all the way back into Loyal's half, which does allow El Paso to kind of reset things.
Shidaka. Israeli again. Out off of Calvillo. Banana Man, absent apparently from the last home match, had a trip to England. That's a great lead ball. The flag goes up. Excellent lead ball. It will not count. Blake Bodley, an excellent feed from Damas, but the flag went up immediately.
Yeah, hopefully not a sign of what is to come for Loyal SC. I mean, that was a fantastic lead ahead. Unfortunate for them to be just a hair off sides, but that is as good of movement, as good of play as we've seen from either of these clubs to date.
And a steal of the ball. Good work by Dollenmeyer, trying to come up with that. William Rose. Evan Conway was there, and here comes Petrovic in the counter. Lifted out. That will be a Locomotive throw. Good look at the fans here tonight at Southwest University Park. Close or at 90 degrees today in El Paso.
Is it October?
It's October.
You sure?
That's what the calendar says.
Wow.
But don't take my word for it.
I believe you.
Do you do costume parties, Colin?
I have not done one recently, but I'm not opposed as a general rule.
It's been a few years for yours truly as well.
Yeah.
Last one, my wife is an incredible seamstress. We went as Mr. and Mrs. Incredible.
That is a good couple's costume.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Let's see, I just feel like I've worked most Halloweens. And just gotten
Good
home the
point.
last few.
You're on at night, aren't you?
Yeah. I feel like my best Halloween costume was in high school. I was Michael Phelps.
Oh.
This year he won the 8 gold medals.
Lead pass. Here's Damas. Turned aside. Diaz with the left foot. Knocked out, but not out of danger. Conway. Good work by Petrovic to clear it out a bit. Woo. Diaz with the serenade, and he needed to be exactly where he was.
Well, we were talking about Michael Phelps and gold medals. I mean, that save deserves a gold medal for sure by Benny Diaz just there. It was going in the back of the net. Kick save and a beauty, no doubt.
San Diego, though, definitely has ramped things up. Grant Stoneman. Back and forth they go. Moshaban trying to work a two-man game with Corona. Blown up, and here's Sinupe. That's the right ball. San Diego had it well thought out, well seen. And back it comes again to Conway. Up top to Corona. Lifted into the box. They wanted to find Conway on that far side to no avail, and there will be a foul as Knudsen is taken down. Let's take a look at Benny's kick save once again. Worth a second look.
Ronaldo was in, and that angle didn't quite show it, but from our angle here in the booth, Duke, I mean, you could just, it was going in the back of the net. And had to be there. His left foot of all things, too.
Oh, well done. Should be said, Ronaldo Damas has the Ronaldo hair, and we're talking like not Cristiano, the original Ronaldo.
Yeah, the real one?
Yeah.
We were debating, before the broadcast, are we calling him Damas by his last name or Ronaldo? Eponymous? Is that the word? Eponymous? Again, more cultured. We decided on Damas, but if he scores, Duke, we may have to switch. Because that would be his 4th goal in 2 matches. He's certainly living up to the name in the last match.
Actually, I'm thinking of Ronaldinho. That's the hair. Ronaldo had the buzz cut. We had the buzz cut. The half moon, or the crescent moon on top.
Yeah, in Dallas they call that the South Side fade.
I'll take your word for it then. And you called me cultured. Dollenmeyer. Any man who knows that is a more cultured man than I.
Depends on what you term cultured or not. So, if we could talk about soccer for just a second, I do want to say that after there was about a 2-minute stretch there where El Paso seemed to be a little bit uneasy after that near goal by Ronaldo, and of course the one that was called back by the offsides, but have settled back in here in the last couple of minutes.
Petrovic, nifty, taken out. There to see it through is Rose, just to give it a crack and keep it away from the foot of Conway. Excellent tackle, though, by Conway.
And Petaro will definitely try to do that more than just from time to time. He likes to take players one-on-one, certainly has the skill set to do it. But these defenders in this league are talented soccer players as well. And good cutout there.
Evan Conway out of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. Showing a little Midwestern grit on that challenge. It does seem to be, through the 31.5 minutes we've played, a bit of a cagey affair. Certainly both teams, I think, going for it. San Diego, better positioned to deal with a draw. Locomotive certainly doesn't want to give up any early goals either, but you've got to think if you're home, you're playing for 3 points.
No doubt. I mean, to your point, San Diego having already locked up a playoff berth, they just want to get to the postseason in a lot of ways fully healthy and then let the cards fall where they may once they're there. El Paso still has everything to play for. They have to lock up their spot in the playoffs, and really they can't tempt fate in that regard in a lot of ways. So, to your point, Duke, I think they're still feeling each other out a little bit in this match, but I do think San Diego has a little bit more fire to play with, so to speak, than El Paso does in this one. Maybe you see El Paso go for it a little bit more once we get to the second half, and maybe you see San Diego pull off the reins just a little bit. Though they haven't exactly pushed the pedal to the metal yet either.
They have not. It does seem like they are content to wait for their opportunities. Locomotive trying to manufacture some. Mostly that has come off the foot of number 27. The man so dangerous, the man Brian Clairhout hated to face so much, he decided to bring him to El Paso and the United States once he got the job here.
Really smart move.
Yeah.
I mean, he has been, when he's been healthy, which he's been for kind of the majority of the last portion of the season, he's been a game breaker for him. 7 goals on the year, second on the team behind Lucho Soloniak, who hasn't played in a month and a half. I don't think has Lucho before he even got hurt. I don't know if Lucho had scored since mid-June or maybe early July.
It had been a while, and even when he was in matches. Here is Damas. Moshaban. Moshaban, 24 goals. Holding the top spot over the 4 seasons of Loyal.
Scored against El Paso back in May when they played in San Diego.
Skipped up, and free kick coming for Locomotive FC. Gives us an opportunity to tell you the USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more, bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic Heritage, Hispanic-Heritage, to learn more. There's been some good features up at USLChampionship.com. Our man Nicholas Murray, such a wonderful job running a lot of the communications and PR for the league, as he has for, boy, I remember I actually have emails between Nicholas and myself when I was working part-time with the El Paso Patriots.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Talk about OG.
Yeah, commitment for sure to this league and everything that it's been and grown into. I mean, I think back to even Locomotive's first year in 2019 and the growth that the league has had. I mean, championship games, like you said, being played on ESPN2, the fan base is league-wide. It's really become something of its own, and it's a credit to guys like him and everybody at the league and the folks here at El Paso Locomotive FC for helping it turn into something like that.
San Diego back with it. Certainly, it's been around a while in a few different forms. I think folks kind of set 2014, 2015 as the start of the modern USL. But it existed way back in the 1980s as the SISL.
Well, I think you see it. It's not just professional soccer. And I mean, look at the USFL, XFL. I mean, this is sports across the board where leagues are folding here and there and everywhere. Basketball, I mean, to stick around as long as it has and to be flourishing is a testament to everything that the league's been.
In any iteration.
Correct.
Preceding Major League Soccer by, I believe, about a full decade. If you're going back to the SISL, the Sizzling Six, they used to call it. But that is way back in the dark ages. We continue to connect the soccer dots more and more in this nation, and it's wonderful to see. Soccer-specific stadia across the United States, of course. Indy 11 unveiling theirs. I know up in
Immaculate.
New England. And areas at Rhode Island, I believe, that has the new stadium and team coming up.
New Mexico, I think, maybe unveiled some plans recently.
Yes, they did. Rose kind of gets away from him. San Diego regaining possession, but to the point we were making earlier, a little cagier. They want the right play.
Yep.
Not settling for anything. Good work on the left. The cross is in, too far, and over the head of awaiting Evan Conway.
Good hustle there to keep it in play, though, too.
Good work by Bodley, who has been a force up that left wing side tonight. Moshaban. Moshaban again. They tried that one through to Moshaban. It's deflected out. It will be a corner kick. Benavides appreciates the cover. Applauding his team.
Defending has been solid, I think, Duke, throughout this first half by Locomotive. Certainly they've been tested more than San Diego has. Neither side I don't think has been tested all that much, but El Paso, if you're gonna pick one, has been tested the most, and the defense has been up to the challenge. But here you go, another corner kick for San Diego. I will say it again, they have been dangerous on set pieces this year.
Guido, the man to come over to do it. Up top, lifted, sliced, and it is Navarro who will put it back over the byline for a repeat. Guido, also on loan from LAFC in 2020. He stuck around a while.
I'd rather live in San Diego than LA too.
I'm with you there.
I like both places. Give me San Diego.
Sure. I'm not that picky, but yes. If we get to pick, I'd take SD. Thrown in, McHugh gets ahead to it. It'll roll out, and McHugh gets that to deflect off a loyal player. An El Paso throw coming. Midway through the 40th minute in the Sun City. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play. Download now. I'm assuming USLChampionship.com for more info. We'll try the long cross, actually getting it into the middle, but Damas well tended to by Navarro. And here is Kostashin. Little room to roam for the Ukrainian. Had such a huge game in San Diego in late April. A 2-1 Locomotive win.
Got the game winner, I believe.
Yes. That was Kostashin's shot. You pointed out earlier, still near the top of the league in shots attempted. San Diego, good intercept here. Played up the left wing a little too far, and McHugh will go back to the us. Dangerous. Whipped right in front of Mosheban. Navarro there, though. And Diaz does well, just well enough.
Damus took away where Benny Diaz wanted to go, which was Dollemeyer on the left side. So kind of had to play a little bit more of the dangerous ball. They ended up getting it to where I think they wanted to go initially, but it was a little more dangerous than they probably would have hoped.
One of those whipped in Brett Favre specials is like, how did he get it there? Kind of hung up off the foot of Knudsen. And here comes Conway.
Good step in, McHugh.
McHugh with it. Excellent work. The Unsula, Sweden native is American. Holds citizenship in both places. As I believe you and Rachel Phillips have pointed out, young man taking Spanish lessons in his time in El Paso. So many of the Locomotive players on this roster speak that language.
Whether it be their natural, their first language, or second language, or if you're like Eric McHugh and you're just trying to learn it so you can communicate better with your teammates, it's always cool to see.
Well, and El Paso's been such a welcoming community to Spanish speakers, whether you are from South America, from Mexico, or Spain, as Mark Navarro, among others, is. Yuma as well, of course. And in that respect, El Paso, very much an international city.
Mark Navarro said in one of our first media interviews with him that one of the big reasons he decided to come here was because of the Spanish language portion of it. Him and his girlfriend felt comfortable here.
Parents-to-be for the first time. Congratulations to Mark Navarro and his partner. Lifted in, Kostashin. That'll loop up. Well done up top. Knudsen is there. off of his head, but easily grabbed by Coque Vegas. Well, it does make a difference, I think, culturally, if you are coming into a city that, honestly, and Navarro admits it, before he came here, knew nothing about El Paso or Texas or American soccer for that matter. And that has to make what was probably a huge decision, just in terms of your work, a little easier to take.
Yeah, no question about that. And he's probably not the only one who's felt that way on this club.
Good work again by Knutson. Almost got that ball away, but San Diego now back into the attacking third. Back and forth goes Colin Martin. Martin pushed off the ball by Kostishin. San Diego thinks the better of trying that up the way.
Just 30 seconds left here before stoppage time. I can't imagine there's going to be much stoppage time.
That'll get through. Bodily headed out by Dollenmeyer, and that was important. Kostishin won't clear the danger, but gets it a little further out. Bodily again. Right foots it this time. Liam Rose is there. Trapped and controlled, and here's Knutson.
That's huge, because there will be no stoppage time in this one, Duke. So to get out of trouble there and just get to half.
And we are at the 45. And there is the whistle from our referee, Gerald Flores. We are at half. No score from El Paso, Texas, between San Diego and El Paso. We'll take a break. Plenty coming your way at halftime, including a wonderful feature that I think you should stick around and see. Well, that's all coming up. Colin, what are your thoughts on this first half?
Just kind of feeling each other out, no doubt. Been interesting to see that. I think San Diego, as we said, has had more chances at goal, but neither team has really looked fantastic in this one. El Paso certainly needs a victory more than San Diego does in this one. Will they push forward in the second half? That'll be my big takeaway at half.
0-0 at the break. Back with more after this.
Don't wait on the sidelines. It's time to make your move in a new Ford today.
The thrill of the drive starts when you get behind the wheel of a new Ford truck or SUV.
And experience the speed, precision, and power to conquer the open road.
Catch a great deal at Casa Ford.
Get $7,500 off MSRP on a new F-150 Lariat. Or get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months on a new Ford Explorer XLT. Score a winning drive at Casa Ford.
Home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome back downtown El Paso, Texas. A beautiful shot of Southwest University Park on a Wednesday evening. 0-0 at the break between Locomotive FC and Loyal SC. Duke, Keith, Colin Deaver with you as we talk to you about the standings. First of all, let's show those Western Conference standings. Locomotive, where they need to be to get back into the postseason after taking the 2022 season away for the first time in club history. So we take a look, Sacramento Republic, San Antonio FC, they've got the top 2 spots pretty well salted away, at least their playoff berth. Sac Republic has not exactly sewed up the Western Conference crown yet, regular season-wise, but they are close. San Diego Loyal, as you see, in 3rd place, followed by Rising, Orange County at 5th, Switchbacks FC 6th, and then comes Locomotive and Oakland Roots, who are in action tonight versus Orange County. So a big one, really, for Locomotive, regardless of the result, and we'll see how that leaves Locomotive FC after tonight. San Diego is clinched, but they can be caught for home field. Locomotive, that is still a mathematical possibility. Locomotive could finish as high as 3rd, but then everybody else would have to lose too. So to be above the playoff line, which is 8 spots down, that's where Locomotive wants to be, and that is where they are. Let's take a look at USL storylines. The championship has crunched the numbers, looked at all the scenarios, and right now they have El Paso making it to the playoffs, an 81% chance that Locomotive is going to get there. You can read more about it, USLChampionship.com, to learn more. Playoffs do get started on October the 20th. Check out all the games on ESPN Plus, and the final on November 12th on ESPN2. Full schedule on the league site as soon as the regular season comes to a close. And you can vote right now for Goal, Save, and Player of the Week at USLChampionship.com. The USL Weekly Award still active through tomorrow, I believe. Again, the website to go to, USLChampionship.com. We're going to come back in a little bit, take a look at the play of the first half, and plenty more, including a great feature story. Stick around. More of the halftime show coming up after this.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Welcome back to Southwest University Park at halftime between El Paso Locomotive FC and San Diego Loyal. It is a scoreless draw through 45 minutes. Let's take a look at one of the plays of the first half of this match. Slim pickings in this one, not much happening in the first half, but it's off a corner kick. Eric McHugh couldn't quite flip it home. Petar Petrovic the follow-up, and his shot just going wide. As you take another look, McHugh trying to flip it in with the back heel. It rolls to Petrovic and shoots it just wide. That was probably Locomotive FC's best chance at a goal in this first half. Loyal SC had a couple of opportunities, including one on a goal that actually went in but was called offsides, but really not much to speak of in this match for either side. That's where they stand at the break, scoreless at 0-0, 45 minutes left to play at Southwest University Park. We will be back with you with more after this.
Score the perfect play when you shop at Casa Nissan today.
We've got an all-star selection to choose from with the advanced features, performance, and style to get you into the end zone.
Get ready for prime time when you drive in a new Nissan from Casa Nissan.
Get $1,500 off MSRP on all 2023 Nissan Rogue and Altima models.
Score a winning drive at Casa Nissan.
How I drive in the 915.
Home of the nice guys.
Yeah!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park, downtown El Paso on a Wednesday night. Duke, Keith, Colin Deaver with you. 0-0 at the break as we take a look at the first half stats. And Colin, pretty even all the way through for Locomotive and Loyal SC, including, of course, the score as Locomotive FC has, not quite the statistical advantage. 2 shots apiece for both teams. Shots inside the box, 1. The passing accuracy, Locomotive and Loyal basically dead even.
Yeah, possession as well, 52% to Loyal, 48 for El Paso. So kind of what you would expect the stats to show based on the first half that we just saw. I hesitate to call it back and forth because there really wasn't much action. I mean, both teams kind of –
True.
Yeah, both teams just kind of content to sit back and just play those first 45 minutes. Again, they both played last Saturday. They'll both play again this coming Saturday. So maybe just – trying to conserve a little bit of energy in this Wednesday game and go for broke in the second half.
Well, something Brian Clearhout actually talked about after the match on Saturday. And one of the things he'd like to see the league change, honestly, is just the number of games all crunched together. But before we go to break, we need to talk about our Locomotive player for a day, Cash Johnson. Cash was in a bad car crash that put him in a coma for nearly a month. Had to learn to walk and talk again as he recovered from his traumatic brain injury. Here's more on his story.
I would like to introduce our player of the day, Cash Johnson.
Quite honestly, that young man had a tragic event that right before his senior year, literally the day before his senior year, and spent literally a year or more going through surgeries. He was in a coma for over a month. Just talking to the family, the mom, they just didn't know what was going to happen, and here he is through the grace of God and a lot of determination. He's here today, and it's a big part of what we're trying to do here.
It's really been a very difficult journey over the last 2 years, and we never pictured he would be to the point where he's at now. I mean, we still have a long ways to go for recovery, but there was times when we weren't even sure if he was going to talk again. So to see him here and talking smack about scoring goals, just it's quite a journey.
some of our students are nonverbal, so Cash makes sure that he helps them to, to continue, whether it's at the department, to help with different types of the skills that they're learning, whether it's hands-on or communicating with other people. That he's really, really just brought a whole new light into the department. He's amazing. We love him.
1, 2, 3. Win! Let's go!
I mean, just fantastic to see that he was out at training last week. We got a chance to meet him. He spoke with the media. You heard the lady say, I mean, just some of those students are nonverbal, and he's been able to get through, what he's gone through to be able to interact. He was signing autographs with the team earlier tonight. Presented the game ball, walked out with the team. He was recognized on the field with his family as well at halftime. So just awesome to see him doing so well after such a traumatic event, Duke.
Indeed, and a great, great story, and you can check that out more at locomotive.com, eplocomotivefc.com. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. As you could tell by the scoreline, nothing really truly dangerous, but Mark Navarro, excellent ball trying to get into Sinupe. I think a couple of chances Emma would like to have back.
Yeah, and I think the one that you may be thinking about possibly more than that one, as you see the one that we showed earlier as well, is the one he just couldn't quite gather at his feet. If he had, he would have maybe had a free run at goal.
This was an excellent look at this. The offside flag goes up on Bodley on a beautiful feed by Damas. But here's San Diego out of the back. Damas, that is a beautiful save by Benedias.
Yeah, that's the play of the game so far for Locomotive.
In close, trying to get that out to Evan Conway in the 6. Good intervention by the Spaniard Mark Navarro, and that's where we stand right now, about ready to hit the second half. Scoreless at the break between Locomotive FC and Loyal SC as they welcome Locomotive back to the pitch. So if you're Locomotive, if you're Brian Clairhout, you got through the first half unscathed, and that may have been the point. Is this where you put on the gas?
Yeah, I think so. Again, as we talked about, throughout the first half, they still haven't locked up a playoff berth yet. So and they can't do it tonight with a win or a draw or anything like that. But any points that you get towards that will help you lock it up sooner rather than later. So I'm looking for El Paso to really push for this in the second half. Maybe you pinch an early goal in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and you're able to kind of play on your heels a little bit, play what they want to do, and just kind of bleed the air out of the ball a little bit. But I am fully looking and anticipating for El Paso to kind of go for it here in the second half and try to get the victory.
Lots of players available off the bench, including Aron Gomez. And Aron Gomez is on the pitch, combining up top with Emma Sinupe. And he'll have the first touch of the ball. Aron Gomez, who for a while was Locomotive's all-time leading scorer. Now in behind Lucho Solignac, and he will start play here in half number 2. What does Locomotive have? Bringing out Aron Gomez at the half. Lead ball out of the back. Sinupe is going to get there. Well fronted by Moshe Ban. Calvillo. Aron Gomez there to put pressure on. Nice thought over the top. Emma Sinupe's there from Kostashin, but couldn't get it over.
And really, Duke already, within a minute of the second half starting, you're kind of seeing Locomotive do exactly what we talked about, opening it up just a little bit more. And we really didn't see that much in the first half. Those balls over the top that they've kind of become known for this year.
And it will be Petter Knudsen who makes way for Aron Gomez to start this second half. Knudsen, again, was out for more than 2 months. He's just now working his way into match fitness, and perhaps the more in-form Aron Gomez. This is why he is on the pitch for the second 45.
Right, and he's, We call him the only box-to-box striker in all of USL. I mean, he will get up and down the pitch all night when he's in there, as he has the ball at his feet right now.
And if you remember from Saturday, he was irate when he was subbed out, kicking the signage on his way back to the bench. Here's Miles Lyons. And the hook one in. It'll be a Locomotive throw. Aaron Gomez. Gomez with 5 goals this season. Kostashin will switch it. Petrovic kind of bounces up a little bit, does well to control. Lifted out by San Diego for a throw. Gomez has it taken off of his foot. Good work defensively by Shilaka. San Diego, Moshaban. They'll get it out left, the dangerous feet of Conway. Locomotive able to intercept that. But Moshaban taking the ground, and it'll be a Locomotive, or pardon me, Loyal restart. Back to Carlos Guzman. Liga MX veteran for many teams. Here's Moshaban. Lifted over the top. Damas, the chest, but straight to the yes.
That looks like Dollenmeyer there to kind of get in his way, make him think about it a little bit more than he would have liked to. Looked like he wanted to just come down and volley that, but Dollenmeyer got in his way and made it impossible for him to do that, and therefore Benny Diaz able to get in there and make the save of sorts.
For Loyal, second half sub, Adrian Perez coming in for Blake Bodley. Bodley did such a great job up that left wing side for Loyal all the first half, but maybe has run his race this evening.
It's similar to Aaron Gomez. Perhaps plays quite a bit for Loyal, and just that was the plan all along, just to have him and Perez sub in for each other at halftime, much like Gomez and Knudsen.
To McHugh. Locomotive certainly wanting to start off on the front foot. Gomez separates for some room, thinks the better of working up. To Calvillo wearing that captain's armband, a position he takes very seriously.
As he should. I mean, it's quite the honor, especially for a young player like he still is, barely 25 years old, I think, to have the respect of your team like that. That's fantastic for him.
McHugh trying to find Sinupe, who will get there, but so too was Colin Martin. That'll be a foul whistled on Loyal. Both players still on the pitch.
Dollenmeyer looking to take a cleat to the inner thigh, perhaps, on the replay. Ooh.
Trying to sweep in, and yeah, the sliding challenge.
6'6", he's got a lot of leg to hit there,
right?
For Corona. Certainly nothing intentional here.
Well, Corona's just trying to get in, kind of left it a little late, though Dollenmeyer had made the clearance and thus is whistled for the foul. Kostashin. Back deep here to try and get something started from the middle. They'll work it around. Calvillo. USL Team of the Week provided the assist on the tying goal and scored the game winner versus Charleston. A huge and critical 3 points for Locomotive FC. And just their 5th win at home this season. That's something they desperately want to change.
Yeah, I never would have thought words like that would come out of your mouth coming into this season. This is a team that's kind of protected their home turf more often than not the first 4 years. Something that has to be important tonight and moving forward.
Kostashin goes to ground, but play on, says our referee. Carlos Guzman gets a piece. Our referee tonight, Gerald Flores, Matthew Rodman, Ben Rigel. The assistant referees and the fourth official, Christian Campo Hernandez. Royal back with possession, Shilaka. Good pressure by Locomotive, Shilaka having to go backward. There along with Colin Martin. Spilled nicely, and here is Gomez. Looking for some room and chased.
That pressure that Locomotive just applied there on the wing, that's not something we saw them doing in the first half. So clearly a change of tactics from Brian Clarehout at halftime.
Petrovic, Rose, and McHugh. Navarro. Say Dennis Kostashin has been relatively quiet for Locomotive. So is Mark Navarro, I think. To me, that's one of the things you've got to think Locomotive would love to see is number 2 wave that magic wand and send one into the 18.
All it takes is one, and we've seen him do that multiple times this year. He's found the feet of Petar Petrovic a couple of times. I think has found Gomez for a 1 or 2, so just has to have the opportunity arise.
Here's Martin. Down on the turf and not getting back up is Calvillo. Looks a bit uncomfortable. Has to put his shoe back on. Kostashin. Tackled in the middle of the field. Martin, great stop. And here is Colin Martin. Moshaban. Moshaban. Wide to the left and sent in. Taken by Diaz. Got that one to Conway. Well worked by San Diego, but Diaz blows it up, and on the other side quickly, here is Gomez. Gomez the cutback, and that will be a foul on the edge of the area. And the yellow card shown to Carlos Guzman. 2 Liga MX veterans going toe-to-toe. And Aaron Gomez earns Locomotive a very dangerous free kick.
The pace of Aaron Gomez, his ability to get from box to box, just never seems to get tired. And on top of that, you have Benny Diaz, who is able to place those drop kicks just on a dime in a way you just don't see guys do at this level. Leads to a free kick for Locomotive.
Excellent distribution. Leads to a big opportunity. It looks to be Kostashin. Back there with Calvillo. Pick your poison, left foot, right foot. We'll see. Close enough to go for goal. A bit of a difficult angle. But Locomotive, Dollenmeyer right there at near post.
Get Miles Lyons at the top as well.
Kostashin goes for goal and just over. He'll take his shots.
Jamal Crawford of USL Soccer. Never met a shot he didn't like. Hey, but that you have to do it in that setting. Fantastic look at goal from Kostashin. You got to trust him in that spot. He's known, as Brian Clarehout said, early in the season for his free kick. So really good look at it.
And Aaron Gomez returns the favor. Gets the yellow card. Taking down Adrian Perez.
Didn't miss by much.
But over the top. One of the best chances of the night for El Paso. So Aaron Gomez shown yellow in the end of the 56th minute. Good turn for some room here by Guido. Guido setting it up. Off to the left for Conway. Back to Moshaban. Far post and sails it over. Hooked back across. Nobody in orange nearby. So both teams starting to pull out the stops a bit.
Maybe we were. It's rare that we are, Duke, but maybe we were spot on with our assessment of the strategies for both clubs.
Look out. Look out. That'll be ruled a foul. Dolan Meyer taken down by his opposite, number 15, Joe Corona. Corona's made the rounds through Liga MX. Or pardon me, Gift Sundsvall. He's the gentleman who played for Brian Clairhout.
Carlos Guzman.
Carlos Guzman. But Corona, a native of San Diego, spent his time at Gift Sundsvall on loan from Houston Dynamo. But Guzman, Toros Neza, Atlético San Luis, Puebla, Tijuana, León, Necaxa, came up through the Morelia system, that is his home city, Monarcas Morelia. Atlético Morelia in second division, Toluca, Querétaro, and now with San Diego Loyal.
And played 10 matches for Querétaro in 2023, so switching, just coming a little bit north to San Diego.
Here's Gomez to challenge Coque Vegas. Distribution out to the right. Locomotive trying to force the issue. And that'll yield results. Not able to keep it in.
Just score watching here, Duke. Early goal from Anwar Pelaez for Oakland Roots. They have a 1-0 lead over Orange County with 16 minutes, it's in the 16th minute rather. So if that score would hold and this score holds here in El Paso, they would jump in front of El Paso in the standings.
Loyal about ready to make a raft of substitutions. Trying to keep those legs fresh again on the road. Here in El Paso, having played last Saturday. And playing again this Saturday, as is El Paso. Last home match of the regular season for Locomotive FC. Hoping to keep their playoff positioning. But that Roots score wouldn't knock El Paso out of the playoffs, but it would unseed them from 7th to 8th.
Right.
I think the big one for Locomotive FC tonight was the RGV tie.
Yes.
Toros could have leapt into the playoff picture, and coupled with a Roots win, that could be a real issue. Of course, things still in contention here for Locomotive FC. Aaron Gomez appreciates the effort from Calvillo up the left wing, but it will go out for a goal kick.
Really what it comes down to, Duke, if you take care of your business, you don't have to worry about what anyone else does. So just win tonight, win at Memphis, and then win at Oakland in the final game of the season. Everything will take care of itself.
Thomas trying to find him up the way, but Diaz well off his line to receive. Here's Dolan Meyer, Calvillo. Bit of a stalemate as we hit the 62nd minute in Southwest University Park. Well, you have to point out, not for lack of trying for either side. Nick Hines about ready to make his way onto the pitch as well. We're hearing for Petar Petrovic. San Diego's Xavi Nolati about ready to come in, along with Camden Riley and Charlie Adams. Guido. He'll elect to go back and knock it around. 8th notch, the steady drumbeat this evening from Section 105. Right behind Coque Vega's goal tonight. Cross into the middle, looking for Damas. Picked up by the US and well seen. Had a couple of Locomotive players, quick distribution. This time Aaron Gomez, not on the other side of it. But Vegas gives the ball up. Shaban will get it back. Colin Martin. Martin, it should be pointed out, spells his name with 2 L's.
Spells it wrong, yeah.
Oh, it's wrong.
Spells it wrong, yeah.
Oh,
no one should ever take more than 1 L if your name's Colin. You're already losing. They gave you an L. It's not your fault. Don't take an extra one.
You can never be undefeated, but right.
Yeah.
You don't want more than 1.
Look.
Well said.
Man's got to have principles. Colin is spelled one way. C-O-L-I-N.
Take it from a man who knows.
Hey, look, I don't know much. I know that.
Here comes the triple substitution again. Here in the 64th minute, it will be Savi Nalati, Camden Riley, and Charlie Adams. Guido's night is done, as is Carlos Guzman and Joe Corona. And Petar Petrovic will give way to Nick Hines. Lead ball out of the back. Sinupe to get there, but good positioning by Loyal to receive. They'll try one of their own over the top. Nick Hines can bring that down, and does. But over the byline, the kick is off target, and it'll be a corner coming up for Loyal.
And a tough play there for Hines. It may be one where he just, on film, maybe lets it go out off the touchline, but instead concedes a corner kick for Loyal.
This will be Loyal's 4th corner of the night. Off to the far side, well over. Evan Conway is going to bring it down, though. Solid work, Charlie Adams there to send in the corner. It'll come back to Mo Shaban. Having a go, it's deflected. And an injury timeout. Charlie Adams took a crack.
It's Liam Rose down.
Liam Rose has taken some abuse over the last few games.
Hopefully nothing serious, but that, I mean, right to the face on that shot.
We'll take a look at this one again as Ricardo Reis on to take a look. Right off the side of the head. Whoever said soccer's a non-contact sport has no clue what they mean. You see the thumbs up, though, from Ricardo Reis back to the Locomotive bench, and I think that is a good sign that the Australian might just need to take a breath.
Yeah, certainly. I'm sure they did the concussion test as its protocol, but was able to turn his head. But oh,
man,
that ball's moving faster than people realize.
Our understanding is Liam Rose has been dealing with a leg injury. He is wearing a brace there, but an absolute warrior and a critical piece to this Locomotive puzzle.
Yeah, no doubt. He, along with a couple other players, is been an Ironman since he stepped into the lineup for El Paso. Pretty much any game he's been available for, I think he's played in this year. So has to step out off the touchline for a second, but I'm sure they'll get him back in there as soon as they can. Training staff and him are having a laugh, so
that's good to see.
Looks to be, yeah, it would seem to me that everything is all right.
Charlie Adams, the team captain, Englishman, saw an opening, took it. Liam Rose in front of it. Come back here to Shalaka.
Rose back on.
Waved him on immediately. Here's Adams. Adams, good give and go here with Conway. He'll send one in, kind of an awkward bounce. Diaz is there, and I think the wind may have caught. I don't know if a breeze caught that. It was just, it landed oddly.
Yeah, he didn't quite know what to do with it. It was kind of in that range. Like, am I letting my defender get it? Should I come out and get it as well? So,
well, it's a good thing that Benny Diaz made the intervention that he did. Damas was ready to pounce on whatever pounced loose for him. Ron Gomez gets ahead to it. That will be a foul whistled.
Liam Rose again.
Liam Rose takes a rough seat. Adrian Perez. Looks like he's still shaking off the cobwebs. Well, the first half had no stoppage time. I imagine this half will. Not a whole lot, though.
With a foul that Rose took, or I guess not a foul, but hit in the face, and then the foul down here. The Locomotive got the free kick just outside the box. That took some time. So
Dolan Meyer making a nice run out of the back. Over to McHugh. Sinupe. Back to Calvillo, the El Salvador international. Team captain, as we pointed out, walked out with his baby Enzo again tonight for a second straight match. Something he told us after the game Saturday he had really been looking forward to doing, and something he looks forward to doing when Enzo can walk with him out on the pitch.
Right. That, and certainly a great memory for him today on Saturday, but it would be a great memory for both of them moving forward once Enzo can remember it, like you said, dude.
Evan Conway taken down and draws the foul for Miles Lyons. Waved immediately by the assistant referee on this near side from our perspective. Here's Adams. Cagey affair here between Loyal and Locomotive. Each team wanting to hold on to what they have. Certainly Locomotive, it appeared, tried to really kind of start things up at the start of the second half, but we have barely seen number 7 on to do his thing. Calvillo flashes out. Here is Damus. Damus back.
And credit to Loyal for perhaps making an adjustment to stem that tide a little bit.
It'll come to Hines. Dolan Meyer. Out for a San Diego throw. So there we see Loyal head coach Nate Miller taking over for Landon Donovan as the head coach. San Diego native himself, and one of the few Americans to have an A license, USSF certified. Of course, Brian Clairhout, that and a UEFA license, A license as a coach. Good work up the right wing, Perez. Taken away, Dolan Meyer gets that one to bounce, and it bounces kindly for El Paso Kostichin. Calvillo. We are hearing Kostichin's night almost done. Chris Garcia in the waiting. Knocked over Loyal, the header. Shaban missed it up and over. Also hearing Chaperera about ready to make his way on. Chris Garcia, really the man who made Locomotive's winning goal happen. Eric Calvillo was able to punch home the deflection, but it was Garcia's shot that set it up.
And he's had some big moments as a substitute this year. Had a winning goal back in May, I believe, as a substitute. So certainly that's what Brian Clarehout is hoping for tonight, that they can get out of Chris Garcia as he is set to come on now for Dennis Castillo.
That's the official word. It will be Chris Garcia coming on for Kostichin here in the 73rd, as well as Chapa Herrera in for Miles Lyons. Lyons, the young man out of Barca Residency Academy, has put in some runs down that right wing side. Chapa Herrera ready to shore up the midfield perhaps, and we'll see if they bring Mark Navarro up a little more, perhaps.
Yeah, we didn't say Miles Lyons' name a whole lot tonight, which to me means it's probably a good thing, right? I mean, in the spot that he's been playing, had some important moments, did Miles Lyons in this one. So a solid shift for him.
Lyons about ready to celebrate a birthday. Coming up Sunday. It'll be his 21st. Oh, to be 21.
Hope it's not like mine.
Dare I ask?
No, not suitable for broadcast. Juan says I don't remember it. That's not true. I wish I did.
Okay. Enough said. Shaban fakes it. We'll go with a left-footed in-swinger. Cleanly taken by Diaz. They know they have to be ready for that counter. Off the foot of El Paso's number 1. Charlie Adams took it to swing it in. Diaz says thank you very much. Golenmeyer, Calvillo.
It seems like Diaz, he'll catch pretty much every match. He'll catch off guard once, and then it's everybody gets the picture. It's one thing to see it on film. It's a whole other thing to see how accurately he can place that ball in person.
It is a weapon, honestly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Locomotive has had its problems through that terrible stretch. Over the top, they'll go to Sinupe, nicely carried in. The Englishman weaves his way through for some room. And we'll keep possession here. Back to Calvillo, opening, wants to take a crack and will, and it's just wide.
I thought he had a go on the first one, took an extra touch and still had time, nearly finishing what would have been right now at least the go-ahead winning goal for El Paso. As you get another look, Duke.
Got into that one, gets Coque Vegas to take a dive, but in the end, wide enough to keep this one 0-0. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club's at home or on the road. Catch nearly every second of the championship action in the USL on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, La Liga, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. If you are a sports fan, that is well worth the investment.
No doubt.
Everything on the Plus, it seems.
Plus the deuce, the ocho.
Right? Kind of would qualify as the ocho, wouldn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Because it's everything.
Yep.
It's like down there. Locomotive trying to sort things out as San Diego tries to break things down at the edge of the 18 to no avail. Riley. Back to him. Overlapping, back to Martin. Slid into the middle for Adams, the distributor. Conway. Charlie Adams, the Englishman. Chased by Chaperrera, crosses one, and it rolls off the crossbar. Stays in play. But Damas header straight to awaiting Benny Diaz. Bad back pass. McHugh clears the danger. Chaperrera making the pass backward, and Thomas was like, his eyes lit up.
Yeah, as dangerous as Loyal has looked all night, and it's really been self-inflicted here by El Paso Locomotive. You get a break, the ball hits off the crossbar. Damas has not been involved, I don't think, the way that they would have liked for him to be after a hat trick in their last outing. Good save by Benny Diaz, ball goes right to him, but you just can't have those mistakes after you get a clearance like that.
Great work along that right wing side, and again, that's Perez making some moves. All of a sudden, Adrian Perez in on the front foot.
This is as dangerous as Loyal has looked, really, maybe since that offsides goal they scored, Duke. It's been a while.
It will be a San Diego corner kick. Loyal making a substitution in the middle of all of that. Tumi Moshabane making way for Nick Moon. Another Wisconsin native. If I was in Wisconsin, I'd want to move to San Diego too.
I get it.
Totally. Whipped in and back out again by McHugh. Kept into the mixer, Locomotive dealing with it well enough, but San Diego trying to get back on it. Good work by Chaperrera to anticipate Adams. Loyal, though, still on the edge of that attacking third. Again, Perez. That pass off target. Locomotive and Dollenmeyer. Electing not to go quickly, and it'll be Hines for the throw.
Getting a little bit of a break there was El Paso, because San Diego, before that misplay, kind of appeared like they were really stepping up their attack, trying to go for it. Maybe, obviously they still can, but an important turnover there.
Chaperrera distribution to Navarro. Lead pass. He's going to try to get there. Knocked back by Aron Gomez. Still vying for it. Sinupe can't get there. Chaperrera will to Navarro. Navarro. Cross. Just loose of Sinupe. Aron Gomez. Gomez to Calvillo. Damas there to intercept. And will be whistled for the foul as he runs the Locomotive team captain over.
Something out of nothing here for Locomotive, Duke.
Locomotive dangerous on both sides of the 18. But in the end, nothing. Just never bounced their way.
Have had a few moments like that tonight, but you do at the end of it still get a free kick, still a chance at goal. Dollenmeyer at 6'6", do you go his way?
McHugh on the far side of the peloton, as the case may be. It'll be Calvillo with that right foot. Navarro, well over 6 foot as well, out on that far side. The delivery into the middle and headed out by San Diego. Only so far as Chaperrera. Getting ahead to that was Stoneman. Calvillo will go long up the right side, trying to get there, running out of the back. Eric McHugh. Just a little off target. But as dangerous as Locomotive has looked in a while.
Yeah, really since the start of the second half when they brought Gomez in and were sending him on long runs. The free kick by Dennis Castician. That's the most extended period of dangerousness, which is not a word, that El Paso has had tonight.
We hit the 83rd. Locomotive putting on the gas for the final 10 minutes. See the 2 up top, if not 3. Locomotive very much in a 4-3-3 look.
And they have to go for it, Duke. I mean, this is, again, your last home game. You want to, number one, send the fans out with, something to feel good about, but more importantly, the playoff implications, which we've discussed the entire broadcast. You got to get 3 points here.
Still 1-0 Roots SC over Orange County. First half action from Championship Soccer Stadium. Damas, they'll keep it moving. To Conway. Goal kick. No whistle, so San Diego just kept the legs churning.
I don't know if we'll get a look at it on replay. It looked like Chaparrera was dragged down and with no call in a pretty dangerous spot.
Thomas finally recognizing his good fortune along with Conway and almost made something out of it. Hines. Damas is going to get that one. No whistle here. Chaparrera with the intervention. Whipped into the middle, Aron Gomez. Bounces up on him, but he'll round it. The former FC Juarez Bravos player. Spent 3 seasons on loan here at Locomotive, finally signed. He's played all 5 seasons in El Paso. Here's Garcia. Rose, Hines, and back again. Herrera to McHugh. Rose. Sanupe. Dolenmeyer and Herrera. San Diego sitting in that big low block. Dolenmeyer fills the space well. Good thought. Well seen and well spotted by Cam Riley. Loyal will come up with possession and switch it. Shilaka. Bounces up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was about to say just bounces up on Vegas.
And I was going to say here, I mean, is this the time now where Loyal maybe shuts it down and then just plays for the point again? They have the playoffs locked up, already clinched. Or do they go and try to ruin El Paso's night?
Back and forth. Running into this one, Nolati. He'll switch it. Too far. No way for Nick Moon to run underneath it. Nolati. Martin trying to get there, Moon, and that will be a whistled free kick. The foul is Moon taken down by McHugh. The protest, but a dangerous free kick coming for Loyal.
And I think what you're seeing, Eric Calvillo protesting is that one was given, but not the one on Chaparrera that almost set up a near goal from Loyal a couple of minutes ago. Yes, there was contact, but not any more contact than we've seen in a couple other plays here recently.
True enough. They'll mark off the space just inside the Locomotive 18-yard box. Adrian Perez. Behind the ball, and now Charlie Adams says, I'll take this. The Englishman. One of the original members of Loyal SC. Been with the team since 2020. The team captain for San Diego will go near post and right off of a waiting Garcia.
A good deflection there by Chris Garcia. El Paso not out of trouble here, though, with the corner kick.
And San Diego can take all the time they want to put this back in play. Midway through the 88th minute in El Paso. We are hearing 2 minutes of stoppage time. Mulati back for the short corner. Adams will take it near side. Lift it out. It'll be a Loyal throw. But you've already pointed out, Loyal can take all the time they want.
They're going to plan to at this point with 2 minutes left in regulation. What do you think? Maybe 3 minutes of stoppage time?
We're hearing two.
2 minutes of stoppage time.
Another throw in. Locomotive will have this. Chaperera sees an opening. Just on that pass, looking for Garcia up the wing. Section 105 is bouncing on a Wednesday late in a 0-0 draw. That will come El Paso's way. Garcia played into space, and it's a shirt tug to give Locomotive the free kick. Rose into the 90th minute. 0-0. Locomotive left it late versus Charleston. They have a sequel. Herrera out of the back over Aron Gomez's head. That stays onside, but it will go for a goal kick. Back to Vegas. San Diego with a point would get 52. They can't really move up in the standings. San Antonio right above them as we see the official signal. 2 minutes of stoppage time. 4 points separating Loyal from that second spot in San Antonio FC. Good bounce here for Loyal. Donati not able to take advantage. But here again, Loyal. Mulati. Back with it again to the byline. Swings it back and Navarro gets a touch. It'll be a corner coming for Loyal.
Cannot, at this point, if you're Locomotive, I mean, you just have to get out of trouble here in this situation and maybe preserve the point.
Xavi Nulati. Will give off for Adams. Who can play it short if he wishes. Last minute of stoppage time. He'll play it straight in. Nodded out by El Paso. But straight to a winning Nick Moon. Sent back in, far post. Too far. Chaperera gives it a ride. Throw in for Locomotive. Seconds left. Locomotive playing it back. Dollenmeyer. Diaz. To the middle. Stolen away. Sent through. Nulati. Chipped. Taken by Diaz. at the end of 2.
How much longer? There it is.
Referee Gerald Flores blows the whistle, a 0-0 draw. Locomotive will tie Roots SC with 45 points. Strike it.
Roots at this point, since they're leading 1-0 in the match, they updated its live standing. So if that result holds, Oakland Roots would be leading El Paso.
Orange County has tied the match. It's 1-1. So Locomotive right now still back in 7th place with 45 and the tie here in El Paso. 0-0 after 90. We'll be back to wrap things up when we continue after this. Welcome back to Southwest University Park. 0-0 after 90 full minutes. Duke Keith, Colin Deaver, as we bring you the post-game show. And Colin, it was tough, a hard-earned point. Locomotive still in their 7th place spot right now as Orange County has battled back to tie that match late in the first half versus Roots SC. But they still have another half to go at Championship Soccer Stadium.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in that match and results kind of around the rest of the league the next couple of weeks, which, along with El Paso's play in its last 2 matches, will determine its playoff future and hopes, I guess. But as we take a look at some of the game, just 4 shots on goal. 4 shots total for El Paso tonight, Duke. None of them on goal.
There's your GECU save of the game. That came late. Damas getting ahead to it on a beautiful cross out from the right wing by Perez. And that was San Diego's perhaps best look at goal this evening. Solid job by Locomotive's defense. It's a 0-0 draw, which means Benny Diaz has his 10th clean sheet of the season.
Yeah, I'd love to see that for Benny Diaz. Had a big kick save in the first half, which we highlighted at halftime, that kept this one level as well. So just good defensive performance. Great job by Benny Diaz, but I needed more from the attack tonight for El Paso.
Let's take a look at our physical play of the game, and it's Eric McHugh. Wide by Dolenmeyer. Perez, a real threat since coming on, but well seen out by McHugh, the Swedish-American.
And that was that portion of the game right around where you just saw, Duke, the save by Benny Diaz, where Loyal was trying to push for a winning goal and El Paso wouldn't have it.
Your physical play of the game. Let us toss it down to Andrea Mendez for our Estrella of the match. Andrea.
Locals, let's give it up for tonight's Estrella of the match, Noah. Noah, it was a tough contest tonight against a good opponent. How did the defense limit on San Diego attacking tonight?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was working really hard, and we were really organized. So when you combine those 2 things, you always got a solid defense.
You came in to solidify the defense. How have you seen this group grow, and how proud are you of what you've done for the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good so far, but we still got to push for playoffs. And I'm sure when I look back at the season after it, I'll know that we put our best foot forward.
As you said, we got 2 road games to make playoffs. What is the mindset that you guys are going to have for these remaining matches?
Just win, work hard, grind together, stay together as a group on the road, and anything's possible. I believe in us so much.
This is possibly the last home game here at Southwest University Park, unless a playoff game is hosted here. How great are the fans that come to support the team, and what is the message to them?
Oh, I absolutely love the fans. Since the first day I'm here, they've welcomed me with open arms, and it has really made El Paso feel like home. So I absolutely love them, and I want to play in front of them again this season.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to go here, give you this poster for you to sign and the ball to give to one lucky fan. Everybody, let's give it up for Noah, tonight's estrella of the match.
Thank you very much, Andrea. We appreciate that. Locomotive FC 12-12-8 with the draw that puts them at 44 points. Orange County has scored again to take a 2-1 lead at home versus Roots SC. That means it is Locomotive still in 7th place. So really no ground gained or lost tonight for either side.
Yeah, as it stands right now, of course, it's barely the end of the first half there, but certainly would be huge for El Paso if you pick up a point here, and then Oakland Roots doesn't pick up any ground on you. That would be fantastic for El Paso.
As we say, for Locomotive FC, Benny Diaz with 10 shutouts on the season. That's another clean sheet for him. Here tonight from El Paso, Texas. 0-0 your final score for our producer-director Juan Gutierrez. For Colin Deaver, I am Duke Keith. From El Paso, Texas, we'll see you down the line. Thanks for being with us this season. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Rebroadcast or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
This
USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.
Lead ball. Trying to get it to Emma Sanupe. That's lopped over. It will be a goal kick. Sanupe last to touch it. Claire Hout taking over, I think, in the latter stages of that season after.
USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.
Lead ball. Trying to get it to Emma Sanupe. That's lopped over. It will be a goal kick. Sanupe last to touch it. Claire Hout taking over, I think, in the latter stages of that season after.
USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.
Lead ball. Trying to get it to Emma Sanupe. That's lopped over. It will be a goal kick. Sanupe last to touch it. Claire Hout taking over, I think, in the latter stages of that season after.
USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.
Lead ball. Trying to get it to Emma Sanupe. That's lopped over. It will be a goal kick. Sanupe last to touch it. Claire Hout taking over, I think, in the latter stages of that season after.
USL Championship just a year later after you were in Sweden together.